let's run an app service. So an app service, as it mentions here, is an alternative to a web server. It allows us, gives us computing resources, memory, etc. Instead of using a web server, and it has no infrastructure. We don't need any infrastructure. Azure actually handles all the scaling, the updates. It allows us to integrate easily with CI/CD pipelines, and also supports multiple programming languages. So when we want to create an app service, we're going to start with app service. So we just search up app service. Okay. And then we click on create. Okay. Can create a web app with a database, or create a WordPress or an app service, but we're just going to create a standard web app. Okay. We are going to issue it to or subscribe it to a resource group. So we have our resource group here. I'm going to give it a name. So this one we can call it web app 2 hyphen dev hyphen, and we're going to use the CAF standardized naming convention. Okay, so web app 2 dev, we're going to deploy it in US2, and this is going to be 002. Okay, we don't want this unique default host name, so we can toggle this off. Okay, so it will be, this will be the name, and then this will be the domain at azurewebsites.net. Okay, the publisher, either we can use code or container. We have a Docker container, but we're going to use code. Run stack time, we're just going to choose .NET 8. Okay, and we're going to use Linux. This is for a lightweight operating system. Okay, since we're deploying it in US2, we need to choose the West US2 region. Okay, and now we're going to look at our pricing plan. So we have the name here. So this is our app service plan. This is what gives it, the app service, the compute capacity. So here we are going to leave it as default, and then we can choose the pricing plan at the bottom. So the lower plans, you might not be able to use zone redundancy, so you have to make sure that you have basic B1, above basic B1, sorry, so at least the premium V4, so you get zone redundancy. You don't need zone redundancy in this tutorial, so we're just going to choose basic B1, or we can just choose the free. Okay, if we want VNet integration, then we need to choose basic B1. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. So let's go for free for F1. Okay, then next we can choose a database, and again, if you choose free one, then you won't be able to get a database with that. So let's actually do basic B1. Okay, so then we can actually see how this works. So here we can create our database. If you want an SQL Azure database, then we can create it from here. Okay, but we're not going to issue a database now. We're just looking at how to set up this basic app service. So look at the deployment. So this is where your data is going to be stored, or the actual web app, where it's going to be stored in the code. So this is where you would connect your GitHub repository, but for now we're not going to deploy that, we're just going to use the default app service and let Azure create the basic app service for us, or web app for us. So we're going to continue networking. Okay, we're going to enable public access because we need the public access because it's going to be internet facing to allow us to connect to this app service from the internet. Okay, now we're going to configure monitoring and security. Okay, as we can see, we can just leave everything as default. Okay, so we're in the region West US 2. Okay, and we can continue to next. And if we would like to tag this resource, then we can tag it as well. So say for instance, we can put team, and then we can put dev. So we know that this resource is for the dev team. Okay, and then we can create. Okay, and then we can just review our plan. So our web app, we know that it's in this resource group. This is the name for the web app. It's publishers coding. It's running runtime is stack is not .NET 8. Okay, and also it's running on a Linux machine. So that is going to be our web app deployment, and we can just click create after this. Okay, so once the deployment is complete, you can go to the resource, and here you're going to see all your properties for your web app. Okay, so the name, the domain, the hosting, and also the networking configuration. If we would like to visit the web app itself, we can click at this top where it says default domain. Okay, so even though it says running, it might take a while for it to set up, so we might just have to wait for a while before we get it set up. So yeah, as you can see, it says your web app is running and waiting for your content. So this is our default web app. We have successfully deployed it. Now all we need to do is get our code from GitHub, send it through to the web app, and then it will start displaying it over here.